Today is your lucky day. I am finally posting my very first official video game review. I will be your host this evening as I give you a tour through my review of a fantastic game, a game which just very recently turned 10 years old, and my absolute favorite game of all time. Today I'm going to give you my review of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask for N64. Too long didn't read. This is the perfect balance of everything you want in a game. Reasonable challenge, excellent gameplay, attractive graphics, exciting side quests, and tons of replayability. It's one of the finest examples of a good game in existence. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask was released in late November of 2000, a year of big hopes for many things, including gaming. This is the perfect sequel to a perfect game. I'd like to mention now that if you've never had the honor of playing Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, get out there right now and play it. To really appreciate the beautiful story and characters living in Termina, you must first be well acquainted with the residents of Hyrule. Since N64 games are a little hard to come by, I suggest picking up the Zelda collection for GameCube, which can be played on the Wii. Majora's Mask is often overlooked due to the overwhelming praise Ocarina of Time has received, but in paving the way for how Majora's Mask was created, we've been gifted with a storytelling masterpiece that can never truly receive the praise it deserves. The least we can do is enjoy it. Majora's Mask uses the same game engine that made Ocarina of Time so famous, with lovable character design, great textures, and an expansive world to explore. While this is no crisis, consider the time of its release and what its competitors look like. While Link can't move his fingers individually, the characters are in no way blocky, instead coming off with a stylized appearance that is consistent throughout the game. Textures throughout Termina are what really bring the world to life. The monsters throughout Termina Field have a sort of cute yet deadly design, from little barking dogs with bombs on their tails to dopey-eyed blobs and classic monsters like Dodongos. Clocktown, the main hub where the story comes together, is beautifully stylized, with 4 interesting districts to explore, each with their own secrets you have to discover to continue the story. Nighttime in Termina opens up a whole new experience to be had, with all new characters and the world itself adding a dark level of intrigue and mystery. No matter if it's night or day, the enormous, horrifying moon is constantly staring down at you, compelling you to get moving and discover the secrets of Termina before it's too late. The focal point of Majora's Mask is absolutely the story and the characters that populate it. Young Link returns, stumbling upon the world of Termina seemingly by accident as he continues his travels after Ocarina of Time. You're instantly thrown into the action as you come across a little forest creature wearing a mask, who knocks out Link and steals not only Epona, but the Ocarina of Time. Link is then turned into a Deku Scrub by the thief, who runs off, leaving Link alone in his strange new body. Masks play a huge role in this game, as you soon learn, making up not only the side quests, but also the crucial plot points that bring the story to its climax. As this is a sequel, many of the characters have been brought back from Ocarina of Time, and a few even have the same purpose they did in the last game. The Happy Mask Salesman makes his return in a big way, being the sole connector between the dark world of Termina and Link's homeland of Hyrule. He is only found inside the clock tower, where he tells you the story of how a little forest thief stole his most powerful possession, the evil Majora's Mask. Link puts 2 and 2 together and is told that if he can retrieve the mask for the Happy Mask Salesman, he'll be turned back into a human and be able to get his horse and ocarina back. Throughout the game, masks need to be acquired in order to continue to other stages. The characters in Majora's Mask are well-rounded and 3-dimensional, first confronting Link with a small problem, which then turns into a huge series of events involving other characters as well. The Goron, Zora, and Deku races return in this game, adding incredible depth to Termina as a whole, and how its people relate to each other. Later on, Link acquires the ability to change form, which is in my opinion a great substitute for not being able to grow to adult Link like in Ocarina of Time. Though it closely resembles its predecessor, Majora's Mask is an incredibly dark and disturbing game, whose characters deal with troubling and often upsetting situations and turn to you for help. I personally found this to be the most emotionally gripping Zelda game to date, and a key factor to why this game is so memorable and important is the fascinating, deep, and disturbing story. The gameplay in Majora's Mask is essentially the same as it was in Ocarina of Time. Why fix something that wasn't broken? You control Link much like any other third-person adventure game, with simple controls to move around Termina and easy-to-use camera angles to give you a full view of the world around you. As in Ocarina, Link can't jump from a standstill, so item usage is key to getting around. The same inventory from Ocarina is present, from Deku nuts and sticks to bows and arrows, bombs, and hookshots. While this means the basic combat gameplay remains the same, masks play a huge role in changing how you solve puzzles and beat bosses. The 3 racial masks of the Goron, Zora, and Deku Scrub all transform Link into their respective races, essentially granting Link entirely new moves and even weapons. Zora Link can swim rapidly and shoot fin-like boomerangs to attack. Goron Link has a powerful ground pound move and gets around quickly by curling into a ball and rolling, and Deku Scrub Link shoots bubbles at his enemies and is able to fly for short periods of time using the Deku Flowers. All of these traits are used extensively throughout the game, even when Link isn't in the expected racial areas like Zora Hall or the Deku Kingdom. In some instances, it's even possible to choose which powers you want to use to solve a puzzle, creating endless ways to get through the game. Other masks may have more specific roles, but nonetheless, with 20 masks to collect, this game is full of surprises and never gets dull. Aside from masks, another feature that makes gameplay challenging is the concept of time. As you walk into Clocktown for the first time, a screen appears announcing it is the dawn of the first day. As you quickly learn, you'll only have 3 days to save Termina, as the maniacal Skull Kid wearing Majora's Mask is planning to pull the moon into Clocktown and destroy the world. This is a daunting fact at first, but you'll be able to alter the flow of time with none other than the Ocarina of Time. Various puzzles and situations will call for time to be sped up, slowed down, and even skipped. You can save your progress with various stone owls that exist around Termina, but essentially each task will need to be completed within the 3-day limit. Completing each task rewards you with a mask, which will stay in your inventory when you jump back in time to the first day. It's a little spooky, really. After going back to the first day, Link retains knowledge of what happened and has a mask to prove it, but all the villagers seem unaware. Like I've said, this game is quite dark and compelling. The sound effects and music are very effective in enhancing the atmosphere of Majora's Mask, and to put it simply, the game wouldn't be nearly as good without them. Everything from the crunching sound of Link's feet as he runs on grass, to explosions of bombs, to the gentle crashing of waves in the Great Bay Coast are accurate and fit well with the landscapes. These sounds hit the perfect balance of being strong enough to enhance the story and experience, while not being too overpowering or annoying. As in Ocarina, there is very little spoken dialogue in Majora's Mask, a feature that I personally enjoy as it gives the player more of a feeling of reading a book as opposed to watching a movie. You get to imagine their voices rather than being force-fed them. The original soundtrack for Majora's Mask was composed by Koji Kondo, the same composer for Ocarina. The songs sound very similar instrumentally to Ocarina songs, melodic, exciting, and even catchy. It's just like an Ocarina OST with new songs. The classic Zelda overworld theme finally returns with Termina Field song, an exciting remix that can absolutely bring up nostalgia and enthusiasm. It's the one thing that Ocarina was really lacking. To fit with the dark theme of the game, many of the songs are eerie and haunting, and drive home the sadness, fear, and despair the story and characters so clearly bring to the table. All in all, the soundtrack is a perfect match for this game, along with atmospheric sounds and effects that really bring the world of Termina to life. Looking at Majora's Mask without bias is very difficult for me, as this game holds a very special place in my heart. I played it as a child and have spent countless hours playing through all the intricate puzzles and listening to the characters that have worked their way into my heart. With spectacular graphics and design, intriguing and complex characters and storylines, fun and creative gameplay, and a beautiful soundtrack to boot, Majora's Mask is without a doubt one of the greatest games ever made, and my personal favorite. Let's go over why I love this game. Though now outdated, the graphics and textures are clean, consistent, and beautifully rendered throughout the game, with creative world design and fun characters to keep your interest and pull you into the game. Look and feel gets a 10. The story is unlike any other, staying true to the heart and soul of other Zelda games while creating a world you'll be desperate to explore and discover. The characters are well-rounded and their stories connect to one another seamlessly. A true storytelling masterpiece. Story and characters gets a 10. Gameplay remains unchanged from Ocarina of Time, so lovers of third-person adventure games will be pleased. With tons of fun puzzles and combat and major challenges like time and masks, there is never a dull moment in the land of Termina. Gameplay gets a 10. From atmospheric hums to exciting explosions, sound effects are in perfect balance with all other aspects of the game, and the soundtrack is in a league of its own for creativity and elegance. Majora's Mask is alive with the sound of music, so to speak. Sound and music gets a 10. Though finally beating this game will feel like a huge accomplishment and relief, I can guarantee you will be excited to pick up the controller and start a new game again. With so many unique side quests and characters, you'll be happy to rediscover the joys of Majora's Mask over and over. Replayability gets a 10. Majora's Mask receives an overwhelming epic win from me, and all I can do now is recommend you pick up a copy any way you can and give it a playthrough. I promise you won't be disappointed.